let's talk about rights and privileges. Now the Second Amendment, and I'll read it to you. It's very simple. It says, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Now, what do the words shall not be infringed mean? Well, it means that if you have the right, nobody can take that away from you, which is a little bit redundant because the word right means something that can never be taken away from you. Now that's the difference between a right and a privilege. Someone who flies an F-16 has a privilege to fly an F-16. It's not a right. They can have the privilege taken away from them at any moment. Just like you can lose your driver's license. Now, I know that many people would agree that it's a right to travel, and therefore there is no need to have a driver's license. But that's a separate issue. It's definitely a privilege to fly an F-16, and it's definitely a right if you believe that you have a need to arm yourself and use those arms to defend yourself. Now, some of you may know that my background is I'm a Quaker, and I choose to defend myself nonviolently. The arms that I bear are these. Bear arms. And of course I'll put my hands in front of me to defend myself, but I won't initiate action to cause harm to anyone. But that's my choice. And there are other people who make the choice of using a weapon to defend themselves, and that's clearly their right to do so, meaning that that right cannot be taken away from them. Now, if they're looking for an F-16 to defend themselves, you're going to move into the direction of privilege rather than right. If you're going to use a handgun to defend yourself, then you're going to move in the direction of it being a right to have a handgun. Now, in this country, they say that you lose the opportunity to have a handgun if you commit a felony, but I think that is a very clear lack of understanding of rights and privileges and a clear reading of the Second Amendment. It is my opinion that anybody on death row is entitled to any weapon of their choice, because that's what the Second Amendment says. Now, I would agree that they can't have an F-16 because that's a privilege. But a handgun, no. If they want a handgun, it's my opinion that that's their right. And that's the difference between a right and a privilege. A right is something that can never be taken away from you. A privilege is something that you either earn or that you can lose.